was a comment on a YouTube video. I can't remember what video it was, but it was a cool comment, and it was said something along the lines of, I think his granddad told him something, which was learning two jobs, and one of those jobs is with your mind, and one of them is with your hands, and that's really, really important. But I think I'm gonna take it a step further, and say that learning two jobs, one being your mind, yes, and one being with your heart. Now, what do I mean by this? Great question that you probably didn't ask. But it's really important to kind of distinguish the connection sometimes that your heart might be telling you and the ones that your brain be telling you, because the brain is a lot more logical, the heart is more like feeling based. So I mean, if you have distinguished the two previously, or you've found that you've had scenarios where you had to, that's cool. That means you completely get it. If you haven't, hey man, no worries. Maybe it could just be a me thing, I don't know. But I think it's really important to kind of pay attention to two different sort of types of like even thoughts that you might get. One is basically governs your emotions, and one governs like logic and reasoning and stuff like that. And so it's really important to kind of ask, what does the heart say? Because the mind can bog you down at times. It can be really influenced by the external world, other people's thoughts and opinions, and you're not really leading with your heart now, are you? What you truly want to do inside. And so I'd say it's really important to learn two jobs with mind and heart, because you kind of want to balance the two. A lot of times as well, if we're talking about career-wise, if you're talking about jobs in terms of career, in that kind of space, then typically a lot of ones that prioritize more on the heart-based stuff, on the heart-based things of life, side of life, it's typically more, they don't pay as much, but it's more rewarding. It's more fun. It makes you smile. And then obviously the mind ones, it's more progression, it's more money, and it's more, I guess development, right? You can forge great things with your mind, and you can also forge great things with your heart. So it's like, it's really important to kind of have the two. And when they're both in sync, woo-wee, that's a game changer. It's a game changer because you're in sync and you're in flow. Like everything is like one, if that makes any sense. And that's where like I think everyone should try to strive to be, because you've got such a level of balance that you're gonna like reap the most rewards from it. But it's really hard to achieve this because again, you've got your emotions to handle, and then you've got your like thoughts to handle, and kind of bringing them together requires a lot of self-awareness and a lot of self-work on this, like just general self-awareness and what you know best. It's that kind of like the idea of like logic versus intuition, and I'll make a video on this, but I still feel like science doesn't appreciate intuition because it's really hard to track. You can't measure it, right? But I think they go really hand in hand in terms of crafting like the best life for you, and that's why like you see the placebo effect work on a lot of people. But yeah, I think I'll say that for another video. And even on a day-to-day basis, apart from career, it's really important to kind of have that mind and that kind of heart sort of jobs to do. The mind could be something as easily as journaling or task planning, and then the other one with your heart could be something like gardening, something like cooking, something that's more nurturing, that helps you kind of chill out, and it just makes you really appreciate life and just have fun in life, which a lot of us don't do because we tend to really be bogged down by our mind, and we don't let our heart to kind of blossom fully. And it might sound like I'm talking a lot of jibber jabber, but when you have experienced that, you'll get it completely. It's really hard to kind of put into words. And that's why like you see a lot of people who are really good hearted in the world and things like that. Those are typically people that kind of lead with their heart. They're really they put that on display, and they want good things for everyone. And on the other side of the coin, you've got people that are the complete opposite, and you can just see on their face they're like kind of miserable. They're not really happy and fulfilled within themselves. So I'm gonna ask a question again. What does your heart say? What does it want out of life? Now, I don't mean out of life in terms of just love, because a lot of people think the heart is just responsible for love. It also includes love of the self. It also includes love of the world, love of a higher power if you believe in that, and just an appreciation for just life. So it's really important to kind of pay attention to that, because I feel like we live in a very, very logical world. We live in a very kind of straightforward, sciencey world that we don't really let our heart decide for us sometimes. We got people like that do therapy and that do a lot of other things that pretty much just find the answers that were always inside of you, inside your heart. So yeah, on that kind of side of things, it's more to do with letting go of fears and worry, and really just letting yourself kind of flow. Because the thing is as well, even if it's like something along the lines of following your passion, even if you do that, right, which is always the best thing you can do, how do you mix that with your mind to make it even better? Ask yourself that. Try and figure that out, because if you are someone who has been recently struggling with, maybe you don't know what you want out of life, what your life purpose is, and you're just not satisfied with life, ask yourself from a very neutral standpoint, what can I do to make my heart happy? What can I do to make my mind happy? You probably have different goals for both, and then try to align them somehow. Make a little Venn diagram or whatever it may be, and then you'll probably end up finding your answer through a lot of thinking. So on that note, I wish you guys the best. If you have any questions, let me know. If you want anything else covered, let me know. And yeah, peace and blessings to you all. Just a reminder that if you're going through something quite difficult, you've made it this far, congratulations, and you will keep on making it through. Every dark night doesn't last forever, and you'll just make it through this period. Anyway, see ya. Sorry for a short episode. Peace and blessings to you all.